constructing this plinth level slab and the room top level slab. Uh, let's see how we can edit the slab. Of course, you have seen the one of the editing option in the last clip, that is just shifting the slab on the required location towards the Z axis. Now, the other editing of the slab is very much similar to field tool editing. So one should always understand that if you work with the field tool and same way if you work with a slab tool, the geometry method for the construction or the editing techniques, they are going to be quite similar. So it's a very simple and quick way to edit the slab, especially when you talk about the changing the periphery of the slab. So let me first of all create maybe this porch which we have, and there's this plinth level slab. I don't want to use that slab on this side. Okay, so I want to trim that much of area. So how I can do the editing? There are possibilities, different possibilities are there. Say for example, I will just try to first of all highlight the required object. Okay, now my plinth layer and 600 as a elevation and all those things. Remember the story on which you have constructed. For some reason, if you shift on the other story, uh, you will not able to see that element, though it is supposed to be in that range. The reason is that there are some settings which are relevant for the display purpose. So I might even just take one setting out of this, because later we are going to talk about these thing in detail. Say for example, in the settings, if you go inside the floor plan and section, you can see the floor plan display show on stories home story only. That means your constructed slab will be shown only on the home story where you have constructed or drafted. Okay, so right now in our current case it's a ground floor. But if you try to change this by clicking on this option, there will be a one fly out option button. So you just click on this and you will realize there are supposed to be all these are the different possibilities with the help of which you can change your presentation. Even you can go for custom also. So you can see now my slab should, I want to see that on one home and one story down, that is on my plinth level. Now if I say okay for this, right, and if I change my current story, that is from the ground floor to plinth, you will see now your slab is getting displayed over here. Then why it is getting displayed in the dash line format, why it is not supposed to be in a firm line, that's a setting part which you can definitely what you can say work in the next clip. I'll show you about these things, or even you can explore that. It's a very simple task. Anyway, so this is what we can see, that slab can be get displayed or it can be edited also. But I'll return back to my ground floor. I'll stay over here again, hit the tab key. Once I get the required object, I'll select that. Now, how to trim down this much of portion? Okay, I just want to remove this much of area. There are different possibilities. I can click on the with the Mercedes cursor on the edge. You know it very well now. The pet palette will be there. The pet palette will come with the various options. The way these options are quite similar for your field tool editing. Only difference that probably this custom edge will be something which is related to slab, may not be there in your time of the field editing. Okay, field or hatch which you can see. Now if I say insert new node, or I can even use the deduct subtract from polygon option also. I'll use for a while as a insert new node. And here I am just clicking on this point where you can see now the new node is added. Okay, and from there again, if I click with the Mercedes cursor again, and then if I see offset edge, then I can even use the drag because I just have to offset this edge till this point. Fine. So this is one possibility. It's not something that there's only one method which is correct. Could be one possibility I can see. So this is what is supposed to be, which we have achieved. On the similar manner, say for example, if I am there with the again the ground floor, if I select this, and if I want to generate the puncture for this staircase area in the slab, I want to create the puncture. So this time we'll talk about that subtract polygon. Now, how to generate the pit palette? First of all, you make sure that if you directly click over here, you will not get the required pit palette. Okay, so you should try to click on the edge or node to get the pit palette, which will give you all the different possibilities. Say for example, if I click on one of the node, and then if I get the pit palette, according to the click location, the options will be there in the pit palette. You know it very well now. So I'm not interested in move node or chamfer fillet corner or offset all edges. Instead of add polygon, I love to use the subtract from polygon. Now once I select this, uh, obviously the geometry method is very important thing which you have to talk about. So rectangle is again by default which is selected, and now you have to be careful about selecting the required location. Say for example, exactly, be careful, if the display is not correct, you might even click a wrong location. So try to adjust the display in such a way that you will get the precise location for cutting your puncture, and then complete this. Now it depends. One can directly take it to the outer periphery also, or maybe you can take it inside, but then it's of no use because this part which is overlapping with the beam is of no use. So just try to click on this location. So you'll see why not to use that insert node and offset. Of course you can do that also. So whichever is comfortable for you, you should use that technique. And now if you go back to the 3D view, you will see that this is how you have generated the puncture. Okay. So this cutout was there for the staircase, which we'll construct in future. And then the other cutout which we have constructed was supposed to be for the parking slot. So this was the basic editing which I can see related to slab tool. Uh, I'll show you some more options which will be more what you can see. So easily you can construct some odd shaped slabs or create a punctures and so many things. So let's see how we can construct some odd shaped slabs, or you want to do some additional editing options. So I'll just take some empty part of the drawing for a while, and see if you generate some odd area by using the spline tool. Of course, you have seen the same thing at the time of fill tool also. So if I just try to complete this kind of odd shape, and if you just want to construct this similar shape slab, uh, sure, it's a very simple thing. You can construct this in a single click. Of course, you know it very well by using the magic wand. So what you can do is you just select this particular tool and make sure that your slab for its required thickness and all the things are matching for your need, and just take any geometry method. That's not going to affect, because once you use this space bar, that is if you hold press and hold the space bar key from the keyboard, your magic wand will activate, and ArchiCAD will try to highlight the area. If it is in your favor, single click, your slab is constructed. Then you will say, how can I identify this? Of course, you can go and check this in 3D or otherwise. If you use the arrow tool, if you select this object, you go back to your settings, and here if you just say cover fill on, say make sure floor plan and section, in that this third rollout, fourth rollout. So these are the few rollouts which I have closed. The last option is the cover field, which is inactive right now. I can active this, and then moment I use the check mark, you can see the cover field, the pattern which you want to use. So you can decide some pattern as per your choice. Maybe anything that suits to your current need, you can just select that. And then the grid line color and the background color, everything you can choose appropriately. And that's it. Once you see OK, you will see how the pattern and the cover field is appearing. So it's a very simple thing that you can generate such odd shaped slabs. So I have selected the slab which we have just created. I'll press F5 from the keyboard, that is function key 5, and then that is show me only the selection in 3D. And this is how you have constructed this object. Okay, so it's a very simple process to generate such shape. Because you know it very well, on the similar area you can even develop the wall also. So if I just select the wall and even if I hold a space bar, you can see how the wall is getting generated. So very quickly you can generate the wall on this. Let's go for some additional editing options related to Slab tool. Uh, okay, for a while I'll just try to reduce this height of the wall. Maybe I'll just try to take a thin boundary. I'll take the wall for a height of 300, so it will look like as a border for this particular slab. And let's see how we can generate some punctures in this slab. So if in case you have decided some shape of the puncture, maybe the circle or this kind of a spline, closed polyline obviously. So I'll select the slab, and then how to create such odd puncture. Of course, you can recollect the same method or technique which you have used at the time of field editing also. So now we are going to lock the selection. You know it very well how to lock the selection. Right now it is shown as a all selected one. The slab tool is supposed to be the objects which you have selected is a slab. And to lock the selection, you have to use the same tool again. That means you have to activate the same tool. So either you click on the same tool icon, or otherwise you can even just hold Alt key and click on the object which you want, which you're willing to lock for the selection. So you can see now this selected one and editable one. Now it's a very simple task. Now we are going to use the magic wand technique and we are going to generate the puncture inside this, because I cannot create this odd shape puncture by using this Mercedes cursor and pet palette. That will take a lot of issues and time also. So let's see what you have to do. It is immaterial then what kind of which geometry method you have selected at the top. You just have to hold the space bar and stay inside the close area and single click. That's it. So this will help you to generate the puncture. Same way I can even click on the circle also. Got this? So now if you return back to your 3D view, you will see how this altogether looks. So this is how we have generated the small punctures also. Same way you can even generate the, see what you can see, like if you want to copy this or you want to delete the puncture and so on, or you want to move it. Now remember here you have to be careful because here there are two objects, your 2D shape and along with that the slab also. So if I don't want to select the 2D shape for some reason, you can stay here and hit the tab key, and now you can check out it is written in the inner polygon of slab. So if I select this, if I put Ctrl D, I can drag this, I can take it somewhere else. If I want to copy this, I can put Ctrl Shift D, I can copy this also. So I can just place it on the new location as per my choice. If in case I am not interested to preserve this, so whichever you have selected, you can hit the delete key and remove that puncture also. So altogether it's a very simple method of editing the punctures inside the slab. Now, another thing which you should remember, I'll just try to select the slab and I'll just take it on the empty part of the drawing by copying this. I'll return back to my 3D view, and here you can now check out that if in case you select the slab, And if you try to use the thicker Mercedes cursor, get the pick palette, and along with all the available standard editing tools, the last option is supposed to be custom edge setting. So you can use this option also. For example, instead of having the edge of the slab as a straight one, or that is the perpendicular to floor, which is by default, this is the angle option which you can see, custom edge setting. You can go for this option, that is some angle apart from 90. And let's try to put this and see how it works. For example, if I try to put this as a 70 degree, and then you can always remember that it is supposed to be apply changes to click edge, or do you want to select it polygon or all edges. So you have to just choose the appropriate one. Say for example, we'll go for selected polygon for a while, but be careful about this because we are working on the outer periphery. It might affect to the inner punctures also. So anyway, now you can see how it works. So if you just check out, this is how your slab was working for the 70 degree as the uh, custom edge setting. Okay. So your edge was supposed to be adjusted for 70 degree. If the same thing, if I try to work for say 120, again will work for selected polygon. This is how it works. Fine. So I hope you have understood the basic editing and what you can say drafting techniques related to the slab tool. In future, definitely we will add some more editing methods, but at present you should try to practice on these things so that you can proceed further for the next topic.